Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Unit 1.2 Notes, Part 2. Today we're talking about solving two-step linear equations. Our learning target today is to be able to solve two-step linear equations by using inverse operations. So, when solving, you must use inverse operations to isolate the variable. Go, well, what are inverse operations? Guys, we talked about it yesterday. Excuse me. The inverse operations are StatMap. Okay? Remember, it's the parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction of PEMDAS completely backwards. Okay? So let's take a look at an example. Say we have 2x plus 3x equals negative 10. Okay? We can't start solving anything because we got to get some information put together. Okay? We have two like terms, and so we always need to combine those. 2x and 3x is 5x. And so we have 5x equals to negative 10. Ms. Carranza talked about in class yesterday about how we draw the line down the middle so we can see the two sides of the equation. And now to get the variable all by itself, we have to divide by 5. Okay? And then when we divide by 5, we get that x equals negative 2. Okay? So you will need to simplify each side of an equation before you begin to solve. That's what that last example was about. Now, number 1 through 9, give exact simplified answers, no decimals, and reduce the fractions. Okay, for 10 through 13, we're going to round to the nearest hundredth, which is the second decimal. So guys, we talked about it. You can use a calculator now if you need to. All right. All right, so I'm going to draw the line, and I'm looking to see if we have any like terms on the left side. Okay. We can combine the negative 7 and the negative 3. Together, that gives us negative 10. Okay, so if x equals minus 10 equals negative 6. Now to get the x all by itself, I needed to do the inverse operation. And the inverse of a negative 10, or subtracting 10, is positive 10. Negative 6 plus 10 is positive 4. Okay, let's move on. Remember, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video and rewatch it, okay? Now, there's nothing that we need to do to combine, so we're going to start solving. I see multiplication and subtraction. To get rid of subtraction, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And we get negative 8x equals 14. Now to get the x by itself, we need to divide by negative 8. And we're left with x equals negative 14 over 8. But we're not done because we can reduce that. Okay, we can divide both the top and the bottom by 2 because they're both even. And then we get negative 7 over 4. And that's our final answer. All right, number 3, we have negative 7 equals w divided by 4 plus 3. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is subtract the 3 to both sides. And we get negative 10 equals w divided by 4. The next step is to multiply both sides by 4. And 4 times negative 10 gives us negative 40. And so we get negative 40 equals w. Okay. Now for number 4, is there anything that we can combine? No. So what we're going to do is we are going to start Following SEDMAP, I want to get rid of addition or subtraction first. So we're going to cancel that out. Oh, my pen's going all crazy again. So we got negative 2/5 y equaling positive 4. And now we have multiplying of a fraction. And we said that if you multiply by a fraction, you can multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so those cancel out. And we got the y all by itself. Okay, so we have 4 over 1 times 5 over 2. You can reduce the corners. And then when you multiply across, you get 10 over 1. And that is I just forgot that sign, but it's a negative. So we got to make sure that our final answer is negative 10. Okay, 5. Now 5 can be a little tricky. You might be like, well, I see subtraction. You're right, but we talked about the other day writing things in standard form, how we can just switch the order. So I want to bring that x out front, and if I look closely, it's a negative x, and that is a positive 4. Okay, and now it's a little clearer of what I need to do. Well, I need to subtract the 4 to both sides, and we get negative x equals negative 13. Do not forget that negative sign, guys. It just doesn't disappear. Don't be a math magician. Okay? Now, are we done here? No, because the x is not positive. Is there a number in front of that x? Well, technically there is. There's a negative 1. Okay? And it's multiplying. How do we get rid of multiplication? By division. And so we divide everything by a negative 1, and we get x equals positive 13. Okay. Number 6. Can we combine like terms? I think we can. We can combine those guys. So off to the side, 7 over 3 plus 5 over 3. We can add those up. They already have the same denominator, so the denominator stays the same. 7 plus 5 is 12. And we can actually reduce that. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay? So we have n plus 4 equals 4. Now to get the n all by itself, we're going to subtract 4 to both sides. And we get an answer of n equals 0. Moving on to number 7. Why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can do this one all by yourself. Good luck. Okay, so we had to add 3 to both sides and then multiply by 6, and that's where we get negative 30 equals w. All right, number 7. Now, do we have any like terms? Yes, we do. We have the negative 1/4 x and the 3/4 x. So we're off to the side. We're doing negative 1/4 plus 3 over 4. They already have the same denominator, and negative 1 plus 3 is 2. Now, can we reduce that fraction? Yes, we can, and that reduces to 1/2. So we have negative 2 equaling 1/2 x plus 8. Okay, now it's just like any other problem. We subtract 8 to both sides, and we get negative 10 equals 1/2 x. And then to get the x by itself, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 1. And multiplying by 2 over 1 is the same thing as multiplying by 2. So we get negative 20 equaling x. Okay, number 9. Number 9, you're going to have to combine like terms and then solve. Okay, be very careful because it's kind of like number 5. All right, I want you guys to try it all by yourself. Pause the video and good luck. Okay, so once you combine, you get negative 1w plus 1 equals 10. Subtract the 1 and divide by negative 1. All right, let's move on. Now, these last ones, for sure, I would use a calculator. Okay, I've got mine right to the side here, ready to go. Okay, so looking at number 10, I'm going to draw my line. The first thing that I can do is that I can combine my like terms. All right, so we got negative 12.7 plus 3.6, which gives us negative 9.1. So I have negative 9.1. Oh, my pen's going crazy again. Negative 9.1x equaling negative 2. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is take negative 2 and divide that by negative 9.1. And we get that big long decimal. Okay, so we get x equals negative 0.219. Right? Now, it told me to round to the second decimal. So I need to look at the 9. The 9 tells me that I need to go up. So once I round it, I need to change that to a squiggly. And we get negative 0.22. Okay, same thing with 11. Find your like terms. Add those up. We get negative m, and then I've got 2.874 plus 3.741. That gives us 6.615. So plus 6.615. Okay, so we have to subtract both sides. You have to be very careful with all of your numbers, okay? So I have negative 10.259 minus 6.615. Oh, and see, that's why negative 6.615, negative 16.874. Okay, now the m's not by itself because remember there's a 1 in front of it. You don't get to make that negative sign disappear. Negative divided by negative is a positive. And I'm not done yet because now we need to round, okay? 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. So even though we don't change it, we still rounded because that 4 is no longer there, okay? We get 16.87. All right, number 12, why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can do that one all by yourself. Combine like terms, and then follow SADMAP, I'm sorry. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so there's all the work, and after you round it to the second decimal, it changes to negative 0.07. All right, last one, number 13. Once again, all on your own. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so did anyone notice when it's negative 1/2 plus 1/2 that those cancel out? One's positive, one's negative, and they're the same thing. So poof, they're gone. Okay, divide by 9, and then we need it to round. Okay, so that's it for Algebra 1, Unit 1.2 Notes Part 2. Your homework is on the back side of this, or if you need to print it out, go on the website and print it out that way. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.